Well, thanks for joining us. I'm Jurnee Taylor. I hope you've been enjoying your day so far. It's been a beautiful one, but I will say, as soon as you step outside, you can feel the humidity. Let's bring in meteorologist Nathan Scott. And Nathan, what can we expect as this day continues to heat on up?
Good afternoon, Jurnee. We can expect lots of sun out there, and that means it'll be much warmer than what we saw yesterday. Remember, yesterday, locations did not get out of the 70s, and when we take a look at the 24-hour temperature difference, we're about 10 to 15 degrees warmer than this time yesterday. And here's what's going on out there right now with the visible satellite across the area, seeing that mixture of sun and clouds. And we will see temperatures continue to respond with all that sunshine. Temperatures climbing up into the mid 80s right now in Little Rock, but 80 in Monticello, 85 in Fort Smith. The dew points, they're up there, upper 60s to lower 70s. So you feel that humidity, and it even has a heat index of 91 in Little Rock. Feels like 91 in Pine Bluff. On the radar, still watching some rain lined up into southeast Arkansas at this time. This is a steady light rain, but it's going to hover around this part of the state through the course of the afternoon. That's where the best chance of rain will be located, and it could be locally heavy, especially right along the border of Arkansas and Louisiana. So highs today, I think we'll hit 90 here in the metro. Everybody else will warm up into the upper 80s. We'll have more heat on Friday ahead of a strong cold front, and that cold front will usher in the first true taste of fall. More on that forecast coming up.
All right, we are learning more about the victims of yesterday's deadly school shooting in Georgia. Law enforcement officials say a 14-year-old student at Appalachia High School opened fire, killing 2 students and 2 teachers before being taken into custody. Mark Strassman has the latest.
Flowers lay outside Appalachia High School this morning in tribute to the victims of Wednesday's deadly shooting. Investigators say a 14-year-old student opened fire around 10:20 a.m., killing 4 people and injuring 9 others.
I got up, I started running. He started shooting like 10 times. He shot at least 10 times.
The sheriff described how 2 school resource officers quickly confronted the shooter armed with an AR platform-style weapon inside the school. They took him into custody.
As soon as they made contact with him, he gave up immediately.
The FBI now says that local deputies questioned the suspect and his father last year. The reason at the time, online threats to carry out a school shooting by the suspect, who was 13 years old at the time. But the father told deputies that his son had no access to guns in the house. The suspect denied making those threats at the time, and so there were no arrests until yesterday.
Investigators identified the 4 people killed as 14-year-old students Christian Angolo and Mason Schermerhorn, and teachers Richard Aspinwall and Christina Irami.
You could get a question wrong on the board, and she's not going to make you feel dumb. She really make you, she'll make you feel welcome.
Isaac Sanguma told CBS News he spoke to Irami, his math teacher, the morning of the shooting.
She was begging me to come to class on time today, and I didn't know that was going to be my last time seeing her and talking to her.
The shooting suspect has been charged with murder, and prosecutors say he will be tried as an adult. Mark Strassman, CBS News, Winder, Georgia.
We also have an update on a school threat in Russellville. Police there say they have arrested a suspect. They say it's a minor, so they aren't releasing the person's identity. Last week, Russellville police sent additional officers to guard the junior high after a threat was posted on social media. At this point, we can't confirm what the charges are that the suspect is facing, but police say they are charged in relation to the threat. Police also saying they plan to release more information as they continue investigating. Now, we've talked a lot about the governor, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, in her push to get phones out of the classroom, but we are also seeing this push nationwide. In states like Arizona and South Carolina, educators and lawmakers are cracking down on the devices, restricting or even banning them in schools. Recent studies show students in phone-free classrooms had higher levels of comprehension and lower levels of anxiety. Health experts say phones in schools can also harm mental health and stunt social development.
Really interferes with developing creativity, with developing social skills, the ability to get along with each other, to problem solve.
As of now, California is the latest state to pass legislation requiring school districts to limit students' phone usage. If signed by the governor, as expected, it will join Indiana, Minnesota, Ohio, and Virginia. Now, Governor Sanders and the state education secretary rolled out a phone-free pilot program. If schools join, they will get funding for cell phone pouches or other locking systems. Generally, students place their phones in those pouches at the beginning of the day, and the grant will also cover funding for virtual mental health services. But not all schools have to follow the same guidelines. The governor says she is leaving it up to local districts to decide how they want to implement the program. Boeing is working to bring its now famous Starliner capsule back to Earth on Friday, returning without its crew. The spacecraft has been docked to the International Space Station since early June, when it dropped off 2 astronauts for what they plan to be an 8-day mission. However, problems with helium leaks in the spacecraft's thrusters have delayed its return. The Starliner is now scheduled to undock from the space station early Friday evening and land in New Mexico 6 hours later.
After we get the vehicle back, we'll go through a couple months of post-flight analysis, and then we're also already working hand in hand with Boeing to look at modifications to the system. Is there ways that we can fly the vehicle differently?
NASA determined it's safer to bring the Starliner back to Earth without a crew. Astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams will remain as crew members on the ISS and return home aboard a SpaceX Dragon capsule in February. Well, today, former President Trump is expected to speak to the New York Economic Club. Jared Hill has the latest as the Department of Justice is accusing another country of a scheme to push fake information to American voters.
Vice President Kamala Harris in New Hampshire Wednesday unveiled a plan to let new small businesses write off $50,000 in startup costs, up from the current $5,000. Also proposing new interest-free loans for small companies. There's no price tag on the proposal that would need congressional sign-off. In a town hall on Fox News in Battleground, Pennsylvania, former President Donald Trump leaned on his record.
I gave you the biggest tax cuts in the history of our country.
He's proposing to end taxes on tips and Social Security benefits and wants to cut the corporate tax rate to 15%. The messaging from the candidates as the Department of Justice accused 2 Russian officials with the state-controlled outlet RT of spreading misinformation.
The American people are entitled to know when a foreign power is attempting to exploit our country's free exchange of ideas.
The Putin-directed campaign designed to use phony news stories and target social media influencers to push polarizing issues, including inflation, job loss for white Americans, privileges for people of color, threat of crime from people of color, and to target an audience of lower and middle-class white Americans as supporters of candidate A. The Attorney General indicated that was Trump. The Russian state-owned media company called the allegations scaremongering. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Well, as we prepare to cast our ballot in November, we want to know what's most important to you. The economy, education, abortion access, infrastructure, all issues facing Arkansans today. Well, we've put together a survey where you can let us know what matters most to you. Our team will take your answers and follow up on those pressing issues and how they impact all of us. The survey also includes an area to share what else you'll like to see covered ahead of Election Day. It's available right now on our website, that's thv11.com, or you can text the word VOICE to 501-376-1111, and we'll send that link straight to your phone. It's summertime, but many people are already thinking about the holidays and shopping for gifts. We'll tell you why an early start can give you an advantage.
And we got to make sure sunny clouds out there. A little bit of rain showing up on the radar. I'll show you that and talk about if we'll have any more chances of rain for your high school football games on Friday coming up.